their ideals. In this life, it's inevitable that you'll face challenges. Many of you have learned this lesson the hard way already. I know I have. But ultimately, what matters isn't whether or not you encounter difficulties. What matters is whether or not you press on when settling seems so much easier and more comfortable. Which brings me to number 204. Remember your dreams and fight for them. There is just one thing that makes your dream impossible: the fear of failure. Nobody likes to fail. I don't like to fail. But let's face it, it happens. I tasted failure recently when I was a contestant on Jeopardy, believe it or not. I came in second to the guy who played Lenny on Laverne and Shirley. And I felt bad because I wanted to win. But at least I could see the bright side. When you're the Secretary of Education, it's a lot less embarrassing to lose on Jeopardy than losing on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? More often than not, what may seem like failure can actually open a door of opportunity. Oprah Winfrey tells the story of how she was fired from being an on-air anchor and devoted to working on a talk show. Worked out pretty well for her, I think. That's why, if you can remain open to what life throws your way, roll with the punches and stay focused and sure of who you are, then success can be found in the most unlikely places. Which brings me to number 213. Achieving true success is being yourself. Don't settle for a calling that doesn't inspire or fulfill you. Find what you love and make that your life's work. In Oprah's case, her passion found her, and that's how it was for me too. Of course, my passion doesn't pay quite as well as hers does, but that's another story. Education found me, and it's a calling that drives and motivates me every single day. In classrooms and communities across the nation, I see the fundamental difference that an education makes. It's the difference between a life lived on the edge of promise and one lived in the full embrace of the American dream. There's such a hunger for education because there's a deep, deep understanding, even in the farthest corners of the world, that education has the power to break the bonds of poverty, foster peace, and transform lives. Education is a gift, and your being here means you're blessed with that gift. The pursuit of knowledge is such a pure and admired value. It's a universal representation of hope, a means to a better life. And I believe that's part of why the tragedy at Virginia Tech has resonated and impacted us all so deeply. As President Bush described, the sanctuary of learning was violated. For such violence and brutality to occur in a place we consider special means all of us feel the pain and horror of these events. Yet, when something bad happens, education is also a means to get through it, an opportunity to learn from and act on the moment we're in. The events at Virginia Tech remind us all just how precious life is, how important it is to seize the day, give your kids a hug, take time for that cup of coffee with a good friend, and never take tomorrow for granted. So in closing, I'd like to leave you with number 209. The only things we do in this world that count are those things that make the world a better place for those who will come behind us. No matter what you do in life, I want to encourage you to find a way to give back. The impact of that choice will not only improve the lives of others, it will enlarge and enrich yours as well, I promise you. And education is a great place to serve. Everyone can be engaged in its improvement, as a parent, as a volunteer, as an employer, or as a teacher. And I hope it's an area where you'll invest your time and talents. Going forward, you're now in a unique position to help other Americans understand and achieve the promise education holds for a better life and a brighter future. And as all of you know, education doesn't stop with a diploma. It's a lifelong process, one that you can come back to again and again along your journey to finding your true passion and your life's work. Each and every one of you has a unique calling, a dream that's all your own. And with hard work and commitment, there are no limits to what you can accomplish. Just remember the advice on the coffee cups, take some risks, don't be afraid to fail, and always be true to yourself and the people around you. And no matter where life takes you, you can be sure of two things. Education will always serve you well, and there will always be a coffee shop, usually a Starbucks, nearby. Thank you very much.